Coley, we're back. How are you, mate?
Ben, great to see you.
And you?
I'm good. Yeah, sat here. Traffic was great. A lot of people asking about the traffic. Traffic's fine. Actually, I did have a... thanks for asking. The other week, I was coming through a village, right? And there was like a car parked on the other side of the road. Spot for like space of 3 cars. There's about 4 cars parked up. And there was a queue of traffic behind that. And I came around the corner and this one car pulled out. And I thought, fair enough, I'll wait in the gap and let him pull through and go where these 3 cars are not parked. And then obviously the rest of the people in that queue decided to follow, but there was a car behind me. So we ended up at this standoff. But there's one person in this thing put his window down. He starts waving at me, like telling me to back up. I'm like, well, I can't back up. I'm stuck here. And he goes past me and he's like, we have right of way. It's in the highway code. I was like, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure you're a stationary vehicle and the obstruction's on your side of the road and you have to cross over the central to go on my side. He's like, it's in the highway code. Read the highway code. So your thoughts on this situation? If there's parked cars on your side of the road, do you stop to let traffic by or do you just go for it?
I mean, I've totally zoned out, to be honest with you. But in short, who's got right away? What are you saying?
If there's parked car, right.
I'm saying, right, if the parked car is on your side,
yes,
you have to sit behind that, let the traffic come through. Once it's all through, you can then pull out and go through.
Thank you.
That's my understanding of the situation.
Bloke decided it wasn't. He was adamant. Seemed like he was going to die on that hill. Read the highway code. So I did, and he's in the wrong. So if he's out there in his little Daewoo Matiz thing, which is silver.
We've got a reg.
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's TWA.
Yeah.
T1
69. I'm going to find, but anyway, so I did actually think, should I drive the same spot this time next week? It was about 5:30. I was like, should I 5:30 next week just come around and see him and then be like, I've read it. Anyway, that's fucked me off. So
I've read it.
I've read the fact.
Just be waiting for it.
Shall we?
Why
don't you want me to read the highway code? I've actually, funny enough, got a copy here. Just pull in, mate. You're in the wrong.
Why don't you dress up as the lollipop man? And then just step out in front of him, right? And then just go up to him and tap him on the window and say, I've read it.
Yeah.
I've read it. Would you like to be a lollipop man?
Yeah, you got to obey this. Me? No.
You love traffic and...
But I do think the lollipop...
community?
The lollipop community do a great job of keeping kids safe on the thing too.
I want a lollipop in the set. Let's get a lollipop in the set.
My only thing with it is though, a lot of them are do it on crossings anyway.
Yeah, zebra crossings.
So, like... cars should legally stop for kids on zebra crossing and stuff, or So, yeah, I.
Is there a university? Do you have to have a degree to be a lollipop? Is there like a special training? I wonder how long the course.
I think you just have to be friendly, don't you?
Yeah, polite, nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was my day. But we're here. We've got some more listeners and viewers.
Hey, Fridge has sent in his naked-ish calendar.
Has he?
Yeah, he has. It's.
Yes. No. There is a slight issue with this. We just have got to work out if we're going to get demonetized on YouTube for the graphic nature of such a...
You ready for it?
The calendar? Oh, there's a lot of bums.
I'm going to pick a random page.
I think they're bums.
Random page.
Yep. April. Wow. That's. I'm glad that there are tackle bags in that picture. Put it that way.
Oh, Christ. That's awful. Fridge, you can have it back, mate.
Yeah, you should have had the old back sack and crack wax before going.
Too much. Well, come on, let's get into it.
Yeah. Question from Duncan: what's the best and worst England camp atmosphere you've ever been in?
The best
and worst.
Not been the worst was not atmosphere. Well, yeah, it was atmosphere. It was when we lost in 2015.
Yeah.
We lost to Australia, and we were obviously then out of the World Cup. That was...
We had a week to go, and we had to go up to Manchester to play Uruguay.
We did.
In a dead rubber. We'd been knocked out of home World Cup. Yeah, that was probably I wouldn't say the worst. Worst atmosphere would make out that it was kind of like rebellious. But
no, it wasn't rebellious.
It was just the disappointment, and you never want to be at home World Cup getting dumped out in the group stages. So, yeah, that was probably the worst camp that I've been in. Best? You're
right. It's important to say it's through disappointment. That's why the atmosphere was so bad. Best atmosphere? There's a lot. there's a lot. We've had tours, we've had great wins and changes after. To say the best atmosphere is difficult to pinpoint, to be honest with you. You can often after a good win, of course, the atmosphere is great. It's the people that create a great atmosphere. Yeah. It's the people, it's the environment, it's the people that bring the energy, bring the life to the environment. And yeah, there's loads of great times that I've had, brilliant times.
I know I saw that it's one of my favourite achievements in England game is that 2016 Six Nations. I would say probably that was up there with the guy. But even that whole Six Nations, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
The best atmosphere in the fact that everyone was given a sort of a fresh chance. Everyone came in. There was a new way of doing it. We'd been dumped at the Home World Cup. Everyone was gutted, and a lot of us thought we'd never play for England again. Eddie comes in, Steve comes in, all those coaches, Guzzi's in. It sort of re-energised that group. And I think from the first meeting, even though we won, take the results aside, I think it was just a great camp in regards to this is hard, but actually this is really good. You know what I mean? And everyone's excited to be there, and it's new, and everyone's new, and everything's new, and it was quite an exciting camp to be part of.
We've got a question from Vicky. What are your favourite 3 things about each other?
Oh, well, Vicky, my 3 favourite things about Ben are his positive. Ben Young's, no, not positive.
What was it? What did we say at the beginning? Don't mistake being a realist, a sap for being a realist, Coley.
3 things. What do I like about Ben? I like your ability to talk to people. I don't have that ability. I'm not very good at talk. I can talk, but I can't really talk with people in conversation, or you can do that. Your energy, I mean, it can be up and down, but it's more up and down in the whole, I'd say, I think I'm quite level, whereas I think you're a bit more, you know what I mean? Excitable.
Bit like a yo-yo.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say a yo-yo, but you're more excitable than I am, which is another good thing. And 3 things. 3rd thing is I know we've just known each other a long time. We get on well. I enjoy your company, enjoy your presence. We don't have to be like. The good thing is we can be like relaxed around each other and not have to sort of. You know what I mean? We can just sit there. Like when we room together, it's like we don't have to talk. We can talk. It's not a problem. We're just relaxing each other's company. And
Absolutely.
There's
I would say I enjoy your humour.
Thank you.
I enjoy your honesty. I think that's important to have in a friendship. Sometimes your mate's got to tell you how it is, and you have on occasions. And lastly, I would say I enjoy the way you educate me about things, Coley.
Oh, thanks.
You're a man of wisdom, and you are. When we sit on the bus, we do a quiz, right? And you just rattle through it in no time, and I'm just astonished at your wisdom, and I absorb some of that. So you're a teacher.
Thank you. Yeah, my wisdom. It didn't really pay off last quiz, but a lot of them were like American sporting teams, so it's quite easy. But
you're underplaying it. He's very good.
Yeah. Question from Curtis: Is Ben Youngs also Podrick Payne from Game of Thrones? Are you?
No.
Do you know who Podrick Payne is?
Yeah, I do. I do know which one. Is it Baratheon?
No, he's a Payne.
People always say look like George. Is it George Clark from Amazing Spaces?
Yeah.
I'm not having.
You look like a fat George Clark.
Yeah,
sorry,
the chin is hereditary. It's a Young's genetic that's been passed through like generations of turkey necks.
You do. There is a passing resemblance to Podrick Payne. Can we? We can't get a picture of Podrick Payne.
Well, not on audio, but we certainly can on YouTube. Surely. Yeah. There we go. Well, I've got resemblance. A lot of people say it's George Clark from Amazing Spaces, but
you're also Podrick Payne from Game of Thrones.
I actually find that very disrespectful towards my family heirloom chin.
I think Podrick Payne's a good.
I like it. We've got a question from Harry. Can you pick your all-time Premiership 15?
This is going to be tough. I think you could pick 2 teams.
It's going to be so hard.
I think you could pick 2 teams, basically, or more than 2 teams, but you could pick one on like. I always think with an all-time team, you have to pick like the Iron Men, a bit of longevity, but then also there is a Premiership 15 where you could pick them like people that have only played a couple of years but have been brilliant.
Should we put some criteria around this, Coley? Because it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, let's put some criteria. Right, you can only pick. There are 10 current Premiership teams. There are 3 that have disappeared financially in the past couple of years, and there's 2 more that we can. Well, Leeds were in the Premiership for a bit in our lifetime, in our playing career.
So let's put them in there.
Yeah, so that's 14. And we need another team. Let's say London Welsh.
Right, so we're going to go 13 teams plus London Welsh plus Leeds that have all played.
Yeah, we've
And
got to pick one player from each, a representative from each of those clubs to go in our Premiership 15.
Right, let's go. Let's start from the pack. So I think Carl Heyman slots in at that tight head.
Right, tight head, perfect. Nailed that. Right, let's go.
I'll tick them off for you.
Yeah. We'll do this by club rather than if we bundle together a club, then we can.
Let's work our way down south. So Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, maybe go Leeds.
Okay, Leeds.
Because then if we go London Welsh, we'll pick a London Welsh player, and then that will pick the best London Welsh player, and they will fit into our of that Premiership team, the Piriweepu, that fits into our squad, and we build it around them.
Okay. So we're sticking with Carl Heyman at tight head.
Yes.
Okay. Then who we got?
London Welsh. We have a Tom May, don't we? Tom May was at London Welsh. He played a lot of Premiership games.
He did play a lot of Premiership
for
games.
Newcastle, Northampton.
He did. So where are we going to put him? 12?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm thinking, who else at London Welsh? Ollie Barkley, I remember. Greg Bateman, friend of the pod.
Big Gavin Henson.
Gavin Henson. It wasn't really a Premiership.
There's a guy called Mills. Was it John Mills?
Yeah, he went up to.
He was second row.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He used to mix it.
Yeah, him.
Big shout out to him.
They had a Petty Fanua for the
Petty Fanua. Let me talk about
Chris
Petty Fanua.
Hallowfair,
Right?
yeah.
The 150 kilo intimidating number 8, right? And we'd signed him, and we thought all
There's
my
a
troubles.
clip of him running over Johnny Wilkinson in France, isn't there?
Yes.
And literally, Johnny Wilkinson goes flying, and then basically he came to the Premiership and he was like, "Oh my God, this guy's an immense ball carrier." I think he went to London Welsh and he came to Leicester after, but like London Welsh, yeah.
He did, and he was ginormous. And first game I played with him, I was thinking, brilliant, like, he's going to get us on the front foot all day. He carried a ball, got tackled, landed on the ball, and winded himself. And he had to go off. It's like, that's my big intimidating number 8 that's got winded from falling on the ball.
So we're going for Tom May in the centres.
Yeah.
For Welsh. Leeds, now this is a bit harder, or it could actually be easier, because we could put like Danny Kerr in there, because he played in the Premiership for Leeds, didn't he?
He did.
You'd
That's
have
a
him,
great shout.
Jordan Crane, Stuart Hooper. You got 3 players there.
Dan Scarborough, can you remember him? He's a winger.
Yeah.
They also had Andre Ferry, the 7.
Yeah.
He was very good. Played with him in England for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of players came through.
Let's lock in DC at 9 from Leeds.
Yeah. He's also played a hell of a lot of Premiership games.
Right, let's go to Sale.
Sale.
I'm thinking Chabelle.
Yeah. But I'm also thinking like Jason Robinson's probably one of the best, or even like a Charlie Hodgson from Sale, but then Jason Robinson's probably like Magnus Lund. I'm trying to think like those.
Cueto.
You had Bruno the hooker, Sheridan. Yeah, probably iconic Premiership best. I'll probably go Jason Robinson.
I'd have liked Chabal in that, but absolutely fine. Right, Jason Robinson is locked in, Coley.
Right.
Now let's work our way down.
Yep.
To Worcester.
So you've just filled the fullback slot, and they had Chris Pennell, who played there for years.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
He was Mr. Reliable in Worcester.
Should we move Jason to the wing?
We could do that, yeah.
Yeah? Don't mind that.
But then we are bringing in Cueto and Hanley and stuff from Sale, who also played in that era on the wing.
No, because you only have one from each team, can't you say?
Exactly, but I'm saying, but did they play on the wings instead of Robinson?
They did.
So bending the rules a bit.
Yeah, but are you...
Think of the guys at Worcester. I say we've had Sam Tuitupo and Dale Rasmussen in the centres. That's how they used to say his name when he got announced in the team sheet, didn't he? Those two.
I like Chris Pennell. He played a lot of games for Worcester.
Yeah.
He played a lot of games for Worcester. So let's put him in there.
Okay.
Let's then go down, work our way down to Gloucester.
Gloucester. Thinking Simpson Daniel.
Nice. Are we putting James Simpson Daniel at 13 because he did play centre, or we put him on the wing?
We could put him at 13.
All right.
That's the first name that comes when I think of Gloucester. I think of Simpson Daniel.
Yeah, he was amazing. Let's put James Simpson Daniel at 13.
Any of the great Gloucester players we can? Was Bortolami, he was second row at Gloucester, wasn't he? But we're not putting him in because he didn't play enough. But
You had a Zam. You
Yeah.
had James Forrester was very good. Phil Vickery played there, of course.
Yeah.
But we've already got a tight head, haven't we? Okay, let's stick with James Simpson Daniel.
Okay.
Right, now we're going down to Gloucester, so now we get to Bristol.
I'm thinking like Ellis Genge.
I was thinking Genji. I was thinking Ronnie Regan, or I was thinking who was the centre, the chiropractor. But we've already picked
Brian
ourselves.
Lima.
Brian Lima would have been a good one, wouldn't
We
he?
had Redrada there. You could have had. They had a front row, didn't they? Their pack when we used to play them with Ronnie Regan, tied like Crompton, Luced. Was it? Dave Hilton or something. So yeah, I don't know. Doing Bristol appearances, I don't know. We'd have to go, but maybe Bristol's best player that I can think of would be Genge.
Let's go Genji.
Right, so we're done.
Bristol. Genji.
Yeah.
Then we go down to Bath next.
I'm thinking.
So who have they had? They've had like Butch James, Michael Clarson's was a very good 9 for them.
When I was growing
Joe
up,
Maddox.
but when I was growing up, it was like Flatman,
Yes.
Mears, Bell, Grucock, Borthwick. It was their front 5, and they were kind of like. And I mean, Borthwick's the boss. He has played a lot of rugby. Whether we want to be Bath or Saracens associate, we could have. Grucock, can we stick him in there?
Let's put Danny Grucock in that.
One of the hardest blokes in rugby. Yeah, I'm thinking backs wise. You say Butch James. I mean, he was a 10. He was probably the most physical 10 around, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could hit.
Yeah.
But then you're looking at
Legally.
I'm trying to think as well who else was there. Dan Lyle. Can you remember Dan Lyle?
The American number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good was he?
He was really good.
He was outstanding.
Again.
But I'm liking Danny Grucock.
What positions have we not filled so far?
Right, so we have Genji at loose head.
Yeah.
We have Carl Heyman at tight head. We have Danny Grucock in the engine room. We have Danny Kerr for Leeds at 9. We have Tom May in the centre with James Simpson Daniel. We have Jason Robinson on the wing. We have Chris Pennell at fullback. So we need a 10. We need a hooker. We need another lock. And we need a fullback row. And we're going down to Exeter next.
Yeah. Exeter. Ewers.
Yeah,
If you're thinking back rowers, Ewers. Slade would be. I'm thinking that like they're.
Didn't one of their lads play like literally so many games? It's like insane amount of games. Who was the 7 that was at Bath? Scarborough? No, not Scarborough. Scaysbrook. James Scaysbrook.
Yeah.
He played like a ridiculous amount of games to them.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of the Exeter, because there's the team that sort of came up, and there's a team that sort of won Europe, and I'm just because they had Slade, who has played lots of games in the Premiership. Their back row is Waldrum, Scaysborough. It's tough. I'd take Dave Ewers.
Now we're going across, and our next destination is London Irish, when they were originally in Reading.
London Irish.
What about Barry Everett, the 10?
Barry Everett.
Didn't miss a kick. He was phenomenal.
Yeah. Or Big Bob Casey.
Big Bob Casey. I love that. Some serious weight in the engine room there with
Dave
Danny
Pace, didn't they? Hooker. He played a lot of games
David
for him.
Pace did. I love Bob Casey.
Bob Casey. Nick Kennedy was there.
Yeah, he was. You had the Armitages.
We filled the back. We filled how many spots in the back line?
We need back line. We need a 10.
Yeah.
And we need another winger.
Because you could go Topsy Ojo.
Yeah. You could easily go Topsy
And
Ojo.
I'd say Irish are known. Were known for their sort of like. It'd be fitting to have a back because they're known for their sort of
flair
and try scoring. And Ojo played a lot of games and scored a lot of tries. So.
And he was the intercept king.
Ojo.
Yeah.
Right.
Topsy. He's in there.
Now we're going deeper into London.
And we've landed at the Stoop.
The Stoop. Quins.
10. What about Nick Evans at 10?
I was thinking that. Or Rob Shaw.
Of course, Chris Robshaw. Nick Easter.
Nick Easter in the back row.
Should we go Chris Robshaw?
Chris Robshaw. Yeah.
Right, Quins. 7. Chris Robshaw is locked in.
Saracens. Now, let's not do him a disservice because I've had some phenomenal out players.
Oh, they have. Like, you look at it, you got like Scott Britt's the hooker.
Yeah. Ooh.
Scott Berger.
Yeah.
Jack Berger.
Yeah.
Steve Borthwick.
Yeah.
Owen Farrell. Brad Barrett.
Wigglesworth's played.
Rich Wigglesworth. I think he's had the most appearances.
Premiership appearances.
Chris
Good.
Wiles.
Wiles.
Jamie George.
Yeah, Itoji, Cruz,
Mako, Billy. It's a joke.
Mako, Billy.
Will Skelton.
Oh,
Not there
God.
for a long time, but very, very good.
Yeah, so we have a hooker, a second row, and a back row to fill.
Yes. And a 10.
Well, a 10, we'll just put Farrell at 10.
Yeah. So Owen Farrell goes in at 10 from Saracens.
Yeah.
Special mention to those names we reeled
Yeah.
off. Right, London Wasps. Are we going to the original Wasps, the High Wycombe team?
Well, yeah, all the Coventry Wasps.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got hooker,
lock.
second row, and back row.
I'm thinking Simon Shaw or Lawrence Delalio.
This is my thought because there's quite a lot of good second rows. Like you got Simon Shaw. I'm looking at the other clubs where you got Martin Johnson. You've got
Courtney Laws.
Is he in your back row? But we've got 6. He's
We need an 8.
8.
Well, Trevor Leota played for Wasps.
Yes, a hooker. 200 odd times apparently. And Rafa Ibanez did also play, and he was a hooker for Wasps. He was only there 3 years though, from what my sources tell me, Ben.
I want Big Trev.
You want Trevor Leota?
I want Trevor Leota
Anchoring the
absolute
scrum.
packing down and just stopping anything in its tracks.
Right. So we've got 2 spots left, 2 teams.
For I just
Northampton.
suddenly thought though, the listeners, some of you listeners would have never heard of Trevor Leota.
Just Google it.
Just YouTube him and just have a little look at some of the hits he did.
Yeah, he could. You didn't want to run at him. Wasn't there some player? It was like a Newcastle player. It was like, I'm going to run over him, and literally he eyeballed him, and Leota just knocks him out.
Yeah.
First carry.
I'm pretty sure that happened. He was a big piece of kit. Well, he wasn't tall, but my God, he was wide.
Yeah.
Okay, so Trevor's going in there, which leaves Northampton and Leicester to finish. We need a number 8, and we need a second row.
See, Leicester number 8. I'm really trying to shoehorn Martin Johnson into this team in the second row because he won multiple Premiership things as captain of Leicester and just a legend of the game and came on the pod. So, but I'm thinking like the Leicester number 8s. You've had Waldrum, Jordan Crane, Martin Coley. We've had some really good number 8s. Northampton number 8s. Samu Manoa.
Yeah.
Peakamoles.
Louis Peakamoles.
But then I'm thinking like we're
He
doing.
was never there long enough, Louis.
He was there for a season.
One season, wasn't
yeah,
it? I mean, he
but
was
he's not 8. But then we're doing an in-service to like
Courtney Laws.
Lewis Ludlam.
Who was the guy? The guy from Ulster, and he came over. Was it Best?
Best, yeah.
Neil Best.
Neil Best, yeah.
He played at Northampton, wasn't he?
Leicester, we're sticking Martin Johnson in. We're also sticking from Saints Courtney Laws, which unfortunately means that we're going to have to reshuffle our back row a bit. I think we secretly, Dave Ewis becomes our first reserve, and we stick Waldrum, who played for both Leicester and Exeter.
Tommy the
and
Tank.
What he scored one year, didn't he? He scored the most amount of tries. Is he the Premiership record try scorer for like the season or something? Until like Sam, could have had Sam Simmons at 8 for Exeter, couldn't we?
I know.
Did he beat Waldrum's record?
They've produced some back rowers, but I tell you what, I think we need Jono in there.
Yeah.
And we want Courtney in there, both lovers of the pod.
Correct.
And we'll move Tommy the Tank and swap Dave out. I mean, Dave Ewers will be all right about it, I'm sure. So let's go Tommy Waldrum at 8, which means Martin Johnson from Leicester is in the engine room with Danny Grucock, and then Courtney Laws.
Would shout out some Leicester, Northampton, Leicester players, like I say, George Shooters played a huge amount against Leicester.
Loads.
You had icons like Castro, Julian White,
Martin Corrie,
Graham Roundtree, Martin Corrie,
Jordan Murphy.
So we've had some great. Leicester have had some, sport of choice. But Jono's the iconic Leicester Tiger and played in the Premiership and won the Premiership as captain. So it's not like we're shoehorning him in on a special rule. He belongs in this team.
Right, after that criteria, let's name it. So, Loosehead is Ellis Genge, Bristol. We have Trevor Leota, hooker of Wasps. We have Carl Heyman of Newcastle at tight head. We have Danny Grucock of Bath in the second row with, of course, Martin Johnson, and he is captain from Leicester Tigers. We have Courtney Laws at 6 from Northampton. We have Chris Robshaw at 7 from Harlequins. we have Thomas Waldrum, Tommy the Tank from Exeter Chief at 8. That rounds up the pack. The back line, we have Danny Kerr from his time at Leeds at 9. We have Tops Yojo on one wing from London Irish. We have Owen Farrell at 10 from Saracens. We've got Tom May playing in the midfield from London.
Representing London Welsh.
We have James Simpson Daniel at outside centre, of course, from Gloucester. We have Jason Robinson representing Sale on the wing. And finally, to finish, is Chris Pennell of Worcester at fullback, with Dave Ewers being first swaps in any of the back rows.
It's a good side. I don't think we're going to win a line out.
No.
Unless we're just going to throw Courtney up at the front all the time. But yeah, I think we've got some... That's a good Premiership 15 that involves all those clubs. I'm sure there might be better ones out there if people want to send theirs in on socials and give us a rundown. But yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's a fair reflection of the Premiership. So we've got a question from Henry. If you could be a professional in any other sport, what would it be?
Golf, I reckon, has a good lifestyle, doesn't it? Travel the world, knock a ball around. I mean, I'm not very good, but I reckon that would be pretty fun. The obvious one's like football, isn't it? Of course it is. Like, that's the obvious one, but I think golf. What about you?
I've got a couple of criteria here. If it's professional in any other sport, but I'm stuck with my current genetics, I'd probably go something like American football. Because I like the NFL, and they get paid a fair amount of money, and they play 17 regular season games a year, and I think it'd be quite in America and all that kind of stuff. That would interest me. If it wasn't, and unfortunately I can't see myself getting stuffed into a Formula One car. And if I was, I don't think I'd be very good at 120 kilos. Bloke's half my size. So that kind of stuff. And like golf, I think, yeah, but I can't rotate. Tennis is not a chance I'm surviving. So probably if we're going on current body forms, American football would be for me.
We got a question from Joe. If all the England props are in the gym, who's lifting what? Who's the best on each bit of kit?
Will Stewart is incredibly strong in his lower limb. So, but I don't think he does like squats. He does like a lunge thing. So he can have the lunge. I'm thinking Genge or Marler would be back squat, bench press. You give it to either one probably. Maybe Marler bench press and Genge back squat. Yep. England props.
Mate, you've got a decent front squat yourself.
Yeah, I'm the only person who does it, so I'll take the front squat.
Yeah, you take the front squat.
Thank you, yeah. Nailed that one. Other big movements, deadlift. I don't know who deadlifts in the England props. I think anyone deadlifts. Maybe we give Stu the deadlift.
Yeah.
Big three lifts. Stu can do deadlift. Will Stewart can do deadlift. Joe Marler bench press. Ellis Genge back squat. I'll have the niche front squat.
Right, we've got an email from John. Hello, THBs, Ben and Dan. I'm a new listener to the pod, and I've smashed it all in 3 days. Listening to you makes me feel a little bit better about hurting for days and has given me the kick up the arse I needed to get my fat arse back to playing. It was my best friend Patrick who pointed me to the podcast. He's getting married next year, and I'm looking forward to his wedding. And I'm looking for a wedding present. Any ideas?
Any ideas on a wedding present? Well, apart from a beanie, which I think would go down really well.
Or tickets for a live show?
Correct, yeah. Though it might be after the live shows happen, so...
That's true.
But maybe he'd want a nakedish calendar.
Maybe he would. We should sign the nakedish calendar.
Yep.
And somehow get it to John, to then pass it on to his friend.
If only there's a way of using the force.
Patrick, his friend. Right, seems like I'm getting it then.
Patrick Starr.
Oh.
Thank you. Yes, we'll give him the nakedish calendar from Southwell Rugby Club. Hopefully...
let's personalise it. So it's...
hopefully...
his friend Patrick Coley. Do you want a pen?
Yeah. Thanks. We'll personalise it. To Patrick, best wishes. Sign it, Ben. We'll send it off. Can you reach for it?
I'll sign it after the show, Coley.
Sign it, Ben. If we get arrested, it's your fault.
There we are. Job's a good one.
Question from Jean. Does Dan have eyebrows? And if so, where are they located? Yes, I do have eyebrows. They are located on the brow of my eyes, which is here. Fortunately, they disappear in winter. The only time you can really see them is in summer when I get tanned and my face goes red and my eyebrows go white. But yeah, they are there.
I can vouch that they're there.
Yeah.
I can vouch that they're there.
I once, we did a 20s tour. We did a 20s World Cup. I think it was 19s World Cup in Dubai. And my mum was make sure you put on lots of sun cream and after sun and all that kind of stuff. And then after about 3 days, my eyebrows started turning ginger. And it turned out she'd bought me after sun with fake tan in it. So you could see him then. Anyway, yeah.
We've got a question from Gareth. Is the lack of relegation from the Premiership working or not working?
Oh, Gareth. Is it working or not working? I think it is working. I think it's probably taken a year. Last year, I think, was as competitive as ever in regards to who could finish in the top 4. I know you had Newcastle, but I think this year, having seen the start of the season, I think it's kind of working in regards to, I think teams are sort of a bit more settled and gone, we can play more rugby. We don't have to, there's not that sort of jeopardy of going down. And I think it is working in that regard. I would say, yes, probably having the relegation jeopardy would be interesting, but last year it wouldn't have been because Newcastle was, didn't win a game, so they'd be down anyway. So that wouldn't be exciting. But I think Newcastle are better for having that year, and this year they obviously developed and moved on. So that's why I would say it is working, yes.
I agree, and I think the Championship's getting more and more competitive. And once, obviously, given the effect of clubs leaving and folding, unfortunately, it just needs a bit of stability. And then once everyone's stable again, I think they'll bring it back. Well, they are bringing it back, aren't they? There's a playoff at the end of this year.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a playoff this year, which is going to be interesting. But yeah, I think like from the teams that can come up from the Championship and stuff is, I think a couple of years of stability in regards to not having a relegation just to help build fan bases or just solidify teams. Because I think as well, probably recruitment and stuff depends on teams. The plan of not having relegation, I guess teams can go, we can actually have a younger squad, or we can plan rather than going, we need to win every game and not get relegated, because otherwise we're financially going to be stuffed. Whereas it's provided a bit of stability to the league, which I think has then allowed it to be more expansive this year.
Question from Jacob to finish up, Coley. Love the pod. I was captain of my club for the past 3 years, and this year I've stepped down. I'm still playing and doing a little bit of coaching. I'm finding it hard to keep my mouth shut at training, when previously I'd have been chatting constantly to the lads. Any advice or experience with this?
Right, so reading the message, it seems like, Jacob, you transitioning through not being captain, you don't want to sort of get in the way of the new captain and potentially be seen to be not overbearing, but you know what I mean, still trying to cling on. Yeah, it's quite an interesting thing, because you obviously want to add your experiences, but at the same time, there's a new captain now, there's a new person in running it, so you can't just talk. Like we found, I think, as we've got older in our careers, is the balance of you have to let a new generation, a new crop of players find their way and talk. And like, yes, you and I could probably talk in every huddle, but A, people would switch off, and B, that's not really helping other people grow and assume responsibilities. So what would my advice be? It would be to, if you're going to make a point, it's got to be a worthwhile point. You know, as in, like, I know you could probably talk at every huddle and stuff, but if you don't need to, that's not your responsibility anymore. So, but if you do have a point to make it worthwhile, and try and limit yourself to 1 or 2 probably solid, really good points, rather than 50 not so good points. So therefore, you're really helping and adding to the group, rather than just sort of, like as a captain, sometimes they have to talk in huddles, they have to facilitate stuff. It's like, I know it's tough, but that's not your role anymore. But make sure what you do add is quality and not just seen to be adding noise for the sake of adding noise.
Yeah, I think first of all, I'd have a conversation with the new captain and say, how can I help? Like, at any point do you feel like I'm stepping on your toes, and just have that chat. He might be in a position where he's like, actually, I'm not quite comfortable yet, so actually you're helping me out. Or he might go, do you know what? There's times where, can you just let me lead it? You've got to have that conversation to start with. And the other thing I'd say is, if something needs to be said, right, and you're thinking it, I guarantee the rest of the team's thinking it. So you can wait a little bit and see if someone's going to grab the bull by the horns and kind of address maybe something that needs sorting out. And you might wait a little bit, but if no one's going to do it, then it is fall on you. And I think also when you've been captain for 3 years, people are still going to look at you for leadership, for advice, for direction. And it doesn't mean that you need to do it all the time. There is a balance. But if no one else is going to do it, sometimes you're going to have to do it. And there's a bit of teething with the new captain that's come in. So work together, chat it through, and make sure you're aligned. But he might be grateful for you kind of stepping in a little bit.
Totally agree. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, that alignment of what you and the captain, obviously, if you experience, you've got a leadership role to still play, but you just don't want to be seen to be, even if you've got the purest of intentions, you just don't want to be seen to be undermining another person, which is totally fine. But you have that conversation with them, and you say the captain might say, actually, yeah, I want you to lead on this, the line out, the breakdown, or whatever, and like, can you do that? And then it's one thing off my mind, and we can use your expertise. So yeah, have the conversation and just go from there.
Simple conversation. What do you need from me? How can I help? Am I helping too much? Iron it out. You'll figure it out, and you'll be all good.
Please keep your questions coming in. You can find us on Instagram, and there's a Google form in the episode description, Ben, if anyone wants to do that. We have an email, which is rugby@crowdnetwork.co.uk, and keep your questions coming in because we love answering them, and there's some ones we had to think about there, Ben.